What are the best movies coming up in the second half of 2021? That's what we're going to discuss on today's episode. Hey, it's me, AP, and welcome to the Saturday movie show, everyone. I hope you're all having a lovely Saturday as always. So, today's topic, we'll be looking at the second half of 2021. We're halfway through this year now. It went super quick so far, and we've had a ton of great movies out this year so far, in my opinion. Anyway, I think there's been some great releases from Godzilla versus Kong to the Justice League, Snyder Cut, both great releases, and many more other great releases that have come out so far this year. But we've still got half of the movies to go this year in 2021, and there's some great ones coming up. So today, I'm going to do something of like a movie guide and take a look at some of the notable movies that are coming out for the rest of this year. Some of the ones I'm really looking forward to. I'm just going to deep dive into them and really discuss why I'm looking forward to them and what to expect from those movies. So that is what's coming up in the show. But now let's start off with some, first of all, same as always, some not so worthy blockbuster housekeeping. This is the part of the show where we just sum up what is going on with the content on the YouTube channel, what's coming up, what's been happening this past week, and it's just an overall roundup of what's going on, really. So first of all, this past week, I released a new bonus podcast to the Patreon page. Patreon, if you want to become a patron, it is like $1 to enter as an entry fee to the Patreon. It's like a Blockbuster member card, isn't it? Of the past, you pay so much a month and you get your rentals and stuff like this. But oh, did you have to pay? You know what? I never used Blockbuster, so I used to use like a local video shop for VHS. So we go in there and you'd have a card, but you pay like a pound a time to get a new VHS. But it's kind of like that, I suppose, isn't it? Patreon. It's like you're buying into the club. The club back in the day was the video shop, the VHS. Now it's Patreon. But anyway, I'm rambling. I've had a bonus podcast come out. I do a new bonus podcast at the end of every month on Patreon. It's a movie-related podcast. I've got two different shows on there now. The Watch Order Task Force and the Coffee and Movie Broadcast. Both great podcasts in my opinion. I'm blowing smoke up my backside, sure I am, but I don't mind. I'm sure you don't mind as well. If you want to get involved, if you want to start listening to the Patreon stuff, as I said, get involved, get online. Also, in future, maybe, if anyone's out there be interested in joining me on a future episode of some of the bonus podcasts, or even some of the normal podcasts, if we can sort something out. I think the podcast on the Patreon is easy at the moment because doing the video, my computer really is bad. Until I get a better computer, video podcasts are probably out the window, but maybe at some point we could do some sort of bonus podcast with people getting involved. If anyone's interested, give me a shout and hit me up. If anyone's in the community is interested in doing podcasts in the future, maybe just featuring in one every so often, it's not a regular thing. Let me know. I'm always happy to get more people involved. It's always fun. But I've had a new episode come out this past week. It was a good fun. It's where I drink coffee, talk about movies, and it's always good fun to do. I love doing that show. It's a really entertaining one for myself to do as well. Just sitting back, talking movies and coffee, which I love both of. I love coffee, I love movies. Next up, some more not so worthy blockbuster housekeeping. Behind the scenes videos, and this is sticking with the Patreon stuff at the moment. I will be doing, and I have been doing. I'm sort of stockpiling stuff now. I'm like a squirrel, getting my nuts, like storing some nuts for the future, storing some nuts for the winter. I'm storing some nuts of behind the scenes content. So I've been doing some little secret side projects this past week and a few past weeks before this. And I've probably not even mentioned it, but you've probably noticed if you're a regular viewer to the channel, I am beardless now. As of last week I had a beard. This week I have no beard. In future videos though, you will see me with the beard, because I've stored some content just with the beard as well. But I've shaved my beard off this past week for a little project that I've been working on. Nothing well, I'm not going to say too much, but what I will say is a secret project that I'm working on at the moment. It's a work in progress. But for this Z secret project, I have been doing some behind the scenes content. And that means for the Patreon page. So, Patreon now, we have webcomics, we have the bonus podcast. I want to give everyone more bang for the buck. So, if they're going to Patreon, I don't want to just be giving you just random, really bad content. I don't want to be just throwing out any old rubbish. I want to give you something that is enjoyable for you as a viewer of the channel, and enjoyable just to watch as well, some intriguing content. So I'm working on behind the scenes videos for some of the secret projects. I'm working on one specifically, and hopefully, it's going to be a continuous thing where when I'm doing like things like the quizzes, I'll do some sort of behind the scenes videos or any type of special videos that I feel is worthy of like a behind the scenes taking the look at a deep dive into the process of the creative process of creating the content. I will definitely shoot videos. Another thing as well, so that is coming soon to the Patreon content. It'll be behind the scene videos every other week, mixed in with the webcomic content, the podcast. It'll be mixed in with the. I've been throwing a bit of interest into what's it called, TikTok this week as well. I'm on TikTok. I kind of give it a try a couple of months ago. Didn't feel like it was for me personally. I felt like maybe I was maybe a bit out of the loop of what TikTok is, like the age range. I feel like an old fart on that sometimes, even though I'm not super old. But I decided to give it another go because I know a lot more people are using TikTok, and I thought for videos, it's good for sharing content, and if it gets more viewers, more eyes, and more people in this community here, I think that'd be awesome. So I've been putting a few TikTok videos up there, just going through the movie shelf here, picking out a DVD, a couple of DVDs, throwing them videos on TikTok. It's been fun to do. Again, just going through the collection and just doing short bits of content. It's been cool. See how it goes. But I think it's just fun just to do. I feel like TikTok now, what I didn't feel like at first, it's like it feels like I'm gamifying it more. I'm making like this little game. I've got to do 5 TikTok videos a day, and I think that's making it more fun for me. It's like I've got to do this, get the goals. I got to play 5 matches. I've got to get 5 videos out on TikTok a day. That's the way in my mind I made it interesting for myself. I wouldn't spend hours on TikTok though. It's just not really a social media platform for me. I'm not really massive on social media anyway, but I use it just for literally posting the videos, and that does me. I can handle that. That's enough for me. Let's see. Anyway, Patreon content, that is all out of the way. Let me give you an update with content that has come to this channel, to the YouTube channel over the past week or so. So I've been doing these movie collection videos, which have been really fun to do. I think I mentioned it on the last Saturday movie show, discussing that. I released part 3 this week of the series. Initially, it was only going to be 2 parts, but when I started filming these videos, it was obvious to me that I couldn't just do it in 2 videos. I suppose I could, but they'd be like an hour-long video, and I have a very short attention span myself, and I know these videos already are 30-minute videos, 30-minute videos, the parts. So there's 3 parts now, about 20 to 30 minutes each. I know if I put a 1-hour video out there, I would personally struggle myself to watch the full video. And I try and put out content with an eye for what I would personally enjoy watching and how long I think I could take it as well myself. I don't think I could listen to myself for an hour. I'm being completely honest. I think I've got an okay voice, but I think my personality can only last about 30 minutes for watching. I think that's enough for us all to take of an AP. So that's why I extended the videos and made it a 4-parter. So the final part 4, will be getting released this coming Thursday. And I'm kind of looking forward to getting back to the normal videos though, because I like mixing it up with different videos and different topics each week. But equally, it has been fun to do the 4 parts of this movie collection, going through it all. It's been great. It's been great engaging with everyone in the community as well, discussing it, and in the comments on the videos, it's been superb. It's been really good. A lot of people have really enjoyed it by the sounds of it, and I've had some really nice comments, which is really cool, and I really do appreciate the nice comments, ladies and gents. And so that'll be coming up this coming Thursday, and after that we're going to be sort of like going away from the collection videos for a while and just doing our normal weekly videos of podcast and, you know, the movie list, content like that, the stuff you're used to on the channel. Last but not least, the quiz. The movie quiz. Every 3 months we do a special video. This was the movie collections for last month. And at the end of the month, I did the big movie quiz. It was a second in the movie quiz series now, and I did a quiz all about the actor Michael Keaton, and I really enjoyed that. That was like a 50-minute video. I bet you were falling asleep watching that one. If you stayed till the end of that one, you must have been falling asleep. That was an exception because it was a quiz. But I enjoyed doing that. I enjoyed researching Michael Keaton and the amount of Keaton movies that I never knew existed out there. It's crazy. One, doing that video, right? One I really did doing that video, and I've never seen, and it seems like it's a very popular one of his, is Mr. Mum. And I'm going to watch that. I'm going to have to watch it this week or sometime soon. Because it looked like something I quite enjoy. I think I'd like that, and it looks like it's a very notable one of his movies, Michael Keaton movies. Let me know if you've seen Mr. Mum. Let me know. Let me know your thoughts on that movie. But it looks quite good. I like that. I've seen a few of the clips online. It looks like something I'd enjoy. It looks like an easy watch. So I'm going to have to definitely watch Mr. Mum at some point. But it was just intriguing reading up on Michael Keaton and doing a lot of research. I found that very enjoyable. But anyway, thank you very, very much to everyone who got involved in the quiz last week. It was great to have you all involved. And, you know, thank you very much. I much appreciate your support and appreciate people getting involved in this community. As always, it is awesome. Thumbs up to all of you out there. Thumbs up, big thumbs up. Anyway, let's move on to the headline topic of today's Saturday movie show, ladies and gents. The main topic, we are going to be looking at the best movies coming up in the second half of 2021. What big movies have we got coming up? So today I'm going to look at about 6 movies. I think 6 I've got on my list. And we're going to discuss what's coming out, the dates. I know there's going to be exceptions on this. There's going to be movies that people are going to say, why wasn't this on the list? And I initially had a list of 4, stretched it to 6 because I felt there was some movies that really needed to have focus today. But there is a lot of movies that I enjoy even more as well, but they're not even on the list because I feel like we've got a lot of movies coming out this year. I think we've got a lot coming out this year because of the pandemic and because of the backlog from last year, the movies that weren't released. Because a lot of these movies on the list were initially going to be released last year, so it's going to be cool to look through this list. So let's dive in there to the list. First up, on my list of movies, the best movies coming up in 2021, we've got Black Widow. Scarlett Johansson returning to the role of Black Widow, and this is going to be a prequel to the other movies because we've seen the ending of Endgame, of Infinity War. It was, sorry. No, it was one that I always get confused with them movies now, but obviously she came to her exit on them movies. So this movie, Black Widow, will be coming up July 9th. This will be a release to cinemas, theatres, and it will also be released on Disney Plus on the same day on the premium access area of Disney Plus. So you will have to pay for this movie on Disney Plus. But it is great that we are getting both releases because I know, you know, at this point in time, July 9th, here in the UK, July 19th is our it is our provisional day for everything, you know, all rules being lifted. So we get back to normal, basically, past the COVID, past the pandemic. That has been shifted already. It has already been delayed. So, I mean, I hope that does stay to be, that is the date that stays, but we don't know yet. So, cinemas are still reduced to my knowledge in the UK. I don't know where it's like across the rest of the world, because I know some states in America, some states have different rules. I don't know where it's like in Canada at the moment. I know in like Australia, they've had local like lockdowns for a couple of days as well. So everyone's area is different. So I know the 19th we will be fully lifted in the UK. So Black Widow will be released before that. So it's going to be interesting. If I'm going to watch it, I'm going to watch it at home. I just prefer that anyway. If I get the option, I'm going to go for the home release. But anyway, we got the option of both of them, which is cool. Black Widow, though, why am I looking forward to this, and why do I think it's one of the best movies? Kind of, I seen it initially, the trailer, and I was excited, and then I think because of the long delays, I've kind of not been as excited. And then today, it was just today, I was looking through the movies to discuss for this episode, and I checked out the trailer again for Black Widow, and it must have been like one of the new trailers, and I thought it looked really cool. I liked the trailer. I didn't even know Ray Winston was in it. I forgot, or maybe I've heard he was in it previously, but I forgot he was in it. He looks like he's playing like the villain in this. I just like the look of it. I like it. It looks everything I want from a Marvel movie. I'm really excited. I like the guy. The guy, what's his name? I don't know his name because I've only watched like the first season of Stranger Things. But is it Hopper? Hopper out of Stranger Things. He's in it. He's playing like the Russian Captain America, and he looks like a good guy in it. He looks like a surrogate father of Black Widow in this, and Florence Pugh's character. It's got Rachel Weisz in it as well. I'm really excited for this. I think it's going to be a great movie. It looks like a great action superhero movie. I think it's just going to be cool to see more of the Black Widow and see more of Scarlett Johansson's character, and just see more of the origin, more of where her beginnings were, and what her life is like away from being an Avenger, which is going to be cool. So I'm really looking forward to that. So that is my first pick of the movies coming out in 2021, the second half. The next movie I want to discuss is Snake Eyes, the G.I. Joe origin movie or spin-off. It's kind of billed as like a G.I. Joe origins movie. We've had two great G.I. Joe movies so far. The Rise of Cobra and Retaliation, the second one featuring The Rock. I like both of those movies. I like the G.I. Joe franchise. I never watched it as a kid because I was a bit late to the party with G.I. Joe. It came out a bit earlier than myself, being born. But I like the G.I. Joe movies, and I like the sort of the lore of G.I. Joe, Cobra Commander. It's really cool. I love the action figures as well. The action figures are really cool. If you don't know, I think a lot of like the G.I. Joe figures. Here in the UK, we had a lot of the characters of the G.I. Joe figures in America were thrown out as an Action Man over here in the UK. And Action Man, a lot of the figures, if you look at the animated show and the figures from the 90s, a lot of them are just carbon copies of the Hasbro G.I. Joe figures. They were both Hasbro figures, Action Man and G.I. Joe, but they sort of like repackaged them for Action Man, and I think they did vice versa. They sort of like switched throughout the series, which is really cool. But let's get back to the movie. Snake Eyes. I like the character of Snake Eyes. This movie's come out on July 23rd. This will be straight to cinemas. It's not going to be straight to any sort of home streaming. So it's a full-on theatre release. I like it. It looks very much like, a martial arts movie, come superhero comic book movie. Snake Eyes is like this, sword fighting samurai warrior. He's like a martial art expert, and it looks like they've definitely thrown in some of them links with Cobra and stuff, so it's going to have a lot of G.I. Joe in it. It's what I think is interesting though. So you got Henry Golding playing Snake Eyes in this, and it shows him in the trailers speaking. But we all know that Snake Eyes, if you don't know, he is a mute character. He doesn't speak in any of the other properties. So are we going to see him talking at the start of this movie, and then something happens to him, and then we see why his origin of him not being able to speak? Maybe they're going to show an origin in this movie. It'll be interesting, but I'm really looking forward to that movie. The action scenes in it, the fight scenes, and the overall look very John Wick to me, and I like that. I'm looking forward to that. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do here and see how they expand this universe of G.I. Joe, whether we see more spin-offs from this and we see eventually a G.I. Joe movie coming from this origin story. It would be really cool to see. So the next movie I want to discuss is Spider-Man 3 No Way Home, and this will be the third movie in the Tom Holland starring movies. I've enjoyed the first two. I wasn't always a huge Spider-Man fan. I thought some of the movies were okay. I thought the very first one with Tobey Maguire was good, and some of the Andrew Garfield ones were, they were. I felt like the first one was okay, and the second one was a bit poor, in my opinion, anyway. But I've enjoyed both of the Tom Holland ones so far. But this one is going to be a big... Well, this is the thing, right? No Way Home. Sorry, yeah, No Way Home. I had to check like the different titles for this. It was Homecoming and Far From Home. Now it's No Way Home, the third one. We kind of don't really know that much of this. So this will be released on December 17th. We're moving a few months forward. I'm going to go back and forth with the dates. December 17th, we still haven't had a teaser trailer. We haven't had an official trailer as of yet. And we're halfway through this year. This tells me either two things, right? Two things. The first being either the movie's going to be delayed until next year, or with all the secrecy around this film and of all the rumours of the cast, they don't want to share that much, and they only want to share a bit when it gets really, really close to the point of release. And I think it's going to be the option of they don't want to share too much because they want to keep it really under wraps as much as they can. I don't think they'll delay this movie. I think it will be released on December 17th. I just think they've got something really big planned, and we've had loads of rumours of something big being planned. This isn't like top first news here. You know, we've heard all the rumours. There's been rumours that Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield from both of the previous franchises are going to return, and some of the villains return as well. Like the Green Goblin, we're apparently going to get Doc Ock from the original, and the Green Goblin, William Dafoe and Alfred Morena, is it? Them two apparently are going to both return. Hopefully that is the case. I think William Dafoe was great as the Green Goblin. And Electro, Jamie Foxx from the Amazing Spider-Man trilogy, he's apparently going to return as well. So we're going to get that mixed in with Doctor Strange in there. It's going to be very much like a multiverse, big live-action Spider-Verse movie, apparently. If that is the case, I am looking forward to it. I think I mentioned this. I think it was one of the very first Saturday movie shows I did, where I said, I'm pretty sure I said I would like, if anything, like a tease to something bigger. And I would still be happy with that. I would be happy if they give us like a small teaser to a live action Spider-Verse and then they do it in a different movie. Do you know, like, so they have like a small cameo from some of these characters, like they did with J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson in the last movie. If they tease some of them characters maybe for a future setup, I would be happy. Equally, I would be happy if they do the big live action Spider-Verse movie in this movie, Far From Home. I'm happy with either of those happening. And it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with that movie, to see, you know, I think like when they do tease something, I think it will be very minimal. I don't think we'll see half of the stuff. I don't think we'll see half of the characters. I think it would be really cool if they don't announce officially the returns of Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield or any of these people before it really happens and before we see the movie in the cinemas. Because if we go into the cinemas still not knowing officially, how cool would it be when we see them characters turn up? And I know we'll be like in the back of our minds, we'll be saying, oh, we knew something was going to happen, but we didn't officially know. Do you know what I mean? It's like we didn't completely know. We weren't all in. We weren't 100%. And if we get in the cinemas then and we see that, or we watch it at home, I think it'll be really exciting as a viewer. I know personally I would be really excited to see all that. I think it would be really cool to see that, you know, years worth of storytelling thrown into one movie. I think it'd be really cool. Stretching back to the very first Spider-Man movie. So I'm really excited for that. So that's going to be released December 17th as of this moment in time. I can't wait to see a trailer. I really can't wait to see a trailer just to see what they throw in there. But that's going to be exciting. Next movie I want to discuss is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This movie will be released on September 3rd. So this is a Marvel movie. And it's not going to be the same sort of release as Black Widow. This will have a 45-day exclusive theatrical release window. That means cinemas, movie theatres get the movie for 45 days exclusively. After that, it can go to Disney Plus as well. We don't know whether it's going to go straight to normal Disney Plus or premium access. I suppose that depends on how successful the movie is, how many people watch it. I think if there's still a demand for that movie after the 45 days, they'll put it on premium access for a short period as well. But either way, Shang-Chi, what do I think? September 3rd, not far away. What do I think of the movie? I think the initial trailer they put out a few months ago was really quite underwhelming. It didn't look, in my opinion, it didn't look amazing. I felt it looked like really flat. It didn't really show off the character. It didn't show off the story. It didn't really show us what we were really getting in this movie. I've seen a recent trailer that may have been released about a week or two ago. I watched it today, and I've watched it the other week as well. And it really made the movie look a lot better. And it made me more excited for this movie. And that's why I wanted to discuss this movie today. Because one trailer has changed my mind, ladies and gents. One trailer this week. Watching this movie, I like the idea that this, you got this son versus father dynamic with his mother, sort of guiding him as guiding Shang-Chi as this sort of like Obi-Wan figure, and he's got to take on his father. This is what I get from the trailer. And then he's got to go into like this fight tournament by the looks of it. You've got like the Abomination from the Hulk series. You've got Wong from Doctor Strange in there as well. It's going to be like this underground fight tournament, the 10 Rings. It's like this like UFC for superpowered individuals, which looks really cool. That Shang-Chi will be involved with. So the fight scenes looked a lot better. The character, the showing off the storylines and what the story is going to entail looked a lot more exciting in this recent trailer I've watched. If you're not seeing it, check out the most recent trailer of Shang-Chi and you'll know what I mean. But it just looked more exciting, and it made me look at it, and I was like, that is a Marvel movie. That's a Marvel movie now, and that is a Marvel movie I wanted to see. Beforehand, even when it was announced initially, I was like, Shang-Chi, I didn't know anything about the character. Seeing the initial teaser, and it was like I said, I just didn't feel anything, no excitement. And then I seen this new one, I was like, whoa, that looked ace. That looked awesome. Visually, it looks great, and I'm so excited to see it now. So, September 3rd, I will be watching that movie. If not, if I don't feel comfortable going to cinemas at that point, I will wait till the 45 days afterwards. But either way, I'm going to watch that movie at some point, and it's going to be one I'm really looking forward to seeing. So Shang-Chi, that is another release coming up, another one of the best of 2021 coming up this second part of this year, second half. Let's move on to another movie. And the next movie I want to discuss, so how many movies are we in? We talked 1, 2, 3, 4. That was the fourth one. We're on to the fifth movie I wanted to discuss now. This will be The Many Saints of Newark, the prequel to The Sopranos, the TV show Sopranos, telling the origin story of Tony Soprano and a lot of them characters in that universe, the gangster universe of the Soprano series. And you've got, the guy playing Tony Soprano is the guy who, in the Soprano series, he died. What was it? Gandalf? I forget his name, but it's his son playing the role of a young version of his character, which is really nice. I think that's a nice thing, and I think it's the thing as well. The guy looks like a really good actor. He looks like he's had. I went on IMDb and he's been in roles before. It's not like he was just given this role. So I think this guy has got acting chops by the looks of it, and I think it's nice having that connection to the original series because he looks a lot like his dad as well, which is good. But this looks like a really good gangster movie from the looks of it. It looks like a very like a Goodfellas, Godfather type movie. If you like The Sopranos, I enjoyed the series. I wouldn't say I'm a super fan, but I liked the show when I watched it. And the ending was, I didn't like the ending. I must say I didn't like the ending to Sopranos. But The Many Saints in Newark, I'm looking forward to seeing that origin, to seeing how them characters developed into what we see in The Sopranos. The trailer was great. The best part of the trailer, though, it was a cracking trailer, what was released this past week. The end of the trailer, they've thrown in the music, a little teaser of the music from the Sopranos TV show, which was awesome to hear. And once I heard that, I was like, oh, that's cool. That is cool. That's awesome. And it's just thrown in that teaser. If you watched the Sopranos show at the time, That was exciting to me, even not as a super fan. I found that exciting. Really, I was really pleased watching that trailer. But yeah, it looks like a really good gangster movie, and I like gangster movies, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. I think it'll be an ace movie. I think it's by the original creators of the TV show as well. So they're gonna stay to the mythology of that show and really make something special, I imagine. And it looks really special from what I've seen so far. And it must be based in like the 70s or the 80s. This movie, so it looks really cool. The release of this movie will be October 1st, and this will be similar to the release of Black Widow. It'll be a dual release going straight to HBO Max and to movie theatres, cinemas the same day on October 1st. So that is exciting to hear. I think it's great. I still think for this year alone, for 2021, I think for big companies, I think it's great that they've thrown out dual releases, and I think it is the best option for a lot of people. I'll be honest with you, I'm still feeling uncomfortable with going into places still. I wear a mask. I won't get super close to people. I've not been in the cinema since the pandemic, and I know it is easing, but I'm still a bit worried of going to cinema. So having these dual releases, simultaneous. I can't even say that word. I'm not even going to attempt it again. I'll stay with dual releases is great, and it's nice that we've got that option. If we want to go to cinema, we've got the cinema option. If you don't want to go to cinema, you don't feel as comfortable, you can watch it at home. I think that's really good. So the many things in you. The last movie I want to discuss on the best movies of 2021 coming up is Daniel Craig in his final spell as James Bond in No Time to Die. This is like the Black Widow. This was going to be released initially, I think it's last year, was it now? Got delayed and delayed again. And I think it was last year. Was it last year or was it even the year? It might have been last year or even the year before. I can't remember now. I'm sure it's last year. No Time to Die. I think it was like March last year. It was meant to be released 2020. I'm looking forward to this though. I think the last movie, Spectre, wasn't great. Skyfall was fantastic. Spectre was a bit flattening for the series, but I'm looking forward to this. I'm hoping it's going to be, a final big successful movie for Daniel Craig. I think he's been a great Bond, probably one of the best Bonds. His movies have been really good. He must be, he must have done the most Bond movies, or he must be. I don't know if he's done or Sean Connery's done more. I'm not too sure. He's done quite a few though now, Daniel Craig. I think he's a great Bond. I wasn't initially when I heard about the casting, I wasn't fussed. But then I watched that first movie, Casino Royale, and I was like, oh, he's great. And he's been great ever since. And it's been, some of the movies have been dipped. I think Quantum of Solace was a dip for me. I know people have said that is good and it's well worth a second watch. I've not given it a second watch, and I must give it a second watch at some point. But his movies have been good overall. Skyfall was obviously the standout great Bond movie in Casino Royale. I just hope they give him a sign-off which is worthy of what his tenure has been as James Bond. The trailer looks great. You've got Rami Malek as the villain in this. You've got a lot of returning characters and actors returning as well. We got Blofeld as well returning to this as well. Christopher Waltz playing Blofeld as well. That'll be cool. And he looks like he's playing like a Hannibal type role in this. He's like a sort of like a guy Bond can go to get all like secrets about the villain of this movie, which is good. So doing sort of like a showing of like a Hannibal Lecter sort of thing there, which is nice. And I'm looking forward to this. Like I said, I like my Bond movies. I've always enjoyed the James Bond movies. I think it's going to be great. I know it's interesting as well. We don't know yet. So this is going to be released on October 8th. It's going to the cinemas as far as we know at this moment in time. But we know as well that MGM have been bought by Amazon now. And it is a MGM release. Amazon now owns it apparently, or they're in the process of buying it. So we don't really know whether. Be intriguing to see if we see any changes to release nearer the time. Whether it does go on a dual release to Amazon Prime as well. I think by the sounds of it and what I was reading when MGM was being bought by Amazon, that wouldn't be the case at this moment. And maybe for future releases that would be the case, but at the moment it is not the case. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a great release for 2021, and I'm excited to see it. So that is my movie roundup for the best movies coming out in the second half of 2021, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed those choices. But now we're going to move forward now to another section of the show, and it is movies for the weekend, where I recommend some movies that I am personally going to watch this weekend, and some movies that I hope maybe you would, if you want to check online, check out these movies on your streaming service or in your movie collections. Some recommendations for this weekend to watch for you. So, on topic today, we discussed Snake Eyes and the origins of the G.I. Joe Origins movie coming out. I think it would be a really good time with this movie coming soon to watch G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra. This is the first one in the G.I. Joe movie series. I think it's a great movie. You got Shannon Tatum in there, is awesome. You know, I'd love to see him in more action movies because I think Shannon Tatum's a really good action guy. He's got the look, he's got the acting chops. I think he's a cool guy. But I like this movie. If you like comic book style movies, superhero action movies, this is going to be right up your street. I think it's a great watch. Well worth watching this weekend. Something you can really just put on, and you don't have to really follow it super hard because the concept, the story is easygoing, but I think it's just an intriguing, cool story as well. I like it. I really like the G.I. Joe movies. So that one's worth checking out. Next up, we discussed Black Widow, the Black Widow movie coming out. This one I want to discuss is where that character found her feet in the Marvel Universe and she made her debut in Iron Man 2. And I know a lot of people don't like Iron Man 2, and I do not think it is the worst one in the franchise, in the trilogy, sorry. Iron Man 3 is the worst. That movie is garbage. But Iron Man 2 is, in my opinion, I don't think it's that bad. I think Iron Man 1 was perfect. Iron Man 2 is not as good as Iron Man 1. I'll give you that. But I don't think it was awful. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie still. I actually thought the villain as well, Mickey Rourke's villain, was quite good as well. I like his villain. And apparently he was really awkward on the set and he was a big pain in the backside to work with. But I enjoyed that villain. I enjoyed the Tony Stark character in this. I like the way they put in Black Widow, Agent Romanoff in this as well. It's cool. I like the movie, and I think it's a good progression from the from the first movie. Even though is not as good as the first movie, I feel like it progresses the character as well a lot more. So I like this movie, and it's one I'm recommending for this weekend for movies for the weekend, ladies and gents. So check out them movies if you've not seen them already. Well worth checking out. So what have I been watching this week? Let's move on to the next section. What have I been watching, ladies and gents? I will mention before doing this, there's going to be spoilers for two things. Spoilers, first of all, for Loki, the most recent episode of Loki. So spoilers for Loki episode 4, was it? Coming up, or the most recent episode of Loki coming in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoilers ahead, ladies and gents. So, this recent episode of Loki I've watched, and it was. I'm really getting into this. I'm getting into this show now. We've seen it. Basically, the conclusion of this show is Sylvie and Loki come face to face with the Timekeepers before they're going to get purged. They're going to get zapped with these big sticks, what look like lightsaber sticks, and they just vanish you into thin air. And they escape free and take on the Timekeepers. And it's revealed that the Timekeepers, who look like free aliens, are actually free androids. And Loki chops off the head of one of them, and it's just a robot. And they're basically puppets to whomever is the true villain of this story. So at this point now, we don't know who the true villain is of this, who's really in control of the TVA. But also in the ending, we see at first Loki getting hit with this purge stick, and it looks like Loki's dead. He vanishes into thin air. Sylvie sees him die and vanish, and then in the post-credit scene, we see a short scene of Loki waking up in this post-apocalyptic world, and we see Richard E. Grant there as it looks like a 70s style Loki comic book costume. And apparently he's playing like an older version of that character. And what I've read, this is what I'm reading online. That it is what is being referred to online. This is what I've read online on a few different websites as Black 4. So it's a gentleman of who is black who plays the character of 4 in this movie. So I don't know whether it is the actual character 4 or it's someone else who's wielding a big hammer. But apparently in the comics, there's never been anyone known as Black 4. And again, this is what the term on the internet people are using at this moment in time. I don't really like that term. I don't like that term. Like, it just seems a bit weird. Like, people, it's like they make the joke of this in the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. It's like he's not Black Captain America. He's just Captain America, and that's what I'm glad they never did that. I'm glad they, in the end they went to just it's Captain America. He's Captain America. What's his face? Sam Wilson. But the way the internet's saying at the moment, it's you've got Richard E. Grant's older version of Loki, this different version of 4, and you've got a child as well who's meant to be Kid Loki. So Loki wakes up and he sees these 3 characters, and that's it. And I think they say something briefly, and I can't remember what they said, but is he dead? Where is he? What is he really purged? What is purging? Does that purge really mean to die, or did it go to some sort of different world? Is it some sort of hell world or something? Hell universe? We don't really know yet, and it's going to be cool to see the conclusion of that. I'm looking forward to seeing who the villain is of this show now. I'm kind of initially thought it was Mephisto. Now I'm really just lost. I'm kind of lost to see who the true villain is. Will it be Kang the Conqueror? Who knows? But I liked the episode. I thought it was a really good episode. I like the weird relationship between Sylvie and Loki, and it's sort of like teased that Loki kind of like is falling in love with Sylvie, who is his variant, which is very weird. So he's fallen in love with himself in a weird way, which I think is a really weird philosophical idea really. You're falling in love with yourself, and they're literally doing that on the show, but it's a weird relationship. I like them characters. I enjoyed the character of Sylvie more in this episode as well. I like the way they show more of how her development and her origin was in the story. I enjoyed that. So let's move away from Loki. What else did I watch? I watched The Ice Road, Amazon exclusive film being released this past week. New Liam Neeson movie starring Lawrence Fishburne as well. And it's basically Liam Neeson's character is a truck driver, and he gets picked to. There's been these miners have been crushed underground, and they need this special piping to be taken on an ice road because they can't fly it in there. And the ice roads are deadly, and they open it up, and it's the most deadly point in the year. Liam Neeson and a few other characters take on this task to get this piping across this big long ice road. There's lots of twists and turns. It's very much an action movie. I like the movie. There's a lot of suspense in there, like a suspense action movie. I liked it. I was really surprised how much I like this movie, because there's an interesting dynamic as well. His brother in this has got a condition where he has I think it's called aphasia, where it's like a PTSD-like condition where he was a war hero, and PTSD and this condition called aphasia stopped him from being able to speak properly, his brother. So his brother is kind of he has obviously learning, I don't know if you call it learning difficulties, or he's got speech disability in this. I think that's the correct term, a speech disability. And he is his carer throughout this movie. For Liam Neeson's the carer of his brother as well. But him and his brother go on this mission. His brother is a mechanic, and a great mechanic at that. And they go on this ice road. We see lots of twists and turns on this icy road. I like the story. Again, it was a really fun movie. I felt like a really nice ending, but also some really dark moments in there as well. But a great story, and it's probably one of those what initially I would have thought, that looks like garbage, never going to watch that. And I put it on just out of curiosity, and it was really enjoyable. Another little thing as well, what have I been watching? But there's one thing I'm gonna watch this week, and I seen a trailer on YouTube, and it is called PG Psycho Gorman. Who's watched this movie? It's a Canadian movie. It was released earlier on this year or last year, and it was like a really independent, low budget movie, and it's been released on is it Shudder now, the horror version of Netflix. And I seen this trailer for this movie, and it looks awesome. It looks like a retro movie. The vibe of it looks really retro, but it's like a horror movie, and it looks cheesy, super cheesy as well. I'm looking for. I'm going to watch that in the next week, but I just wanted to give that a mention on today's show. If anyone's watched that, let me know what your thoughts on that movie. It looks really fun. I'm going to watch that this week. But anyway, ladies and gents, thank you very much for watching today's show. If you did enjoy the show, please do give it a like and check out the rest of my movie-related content as well. What are your thoughts on today's show? And what are your thoughts on today's selection of best movies for the second half of 2021? Do you like the picks? Are you excited for any of these movies? Which one are you most excited for out of these picks? And which movies do you feel like will be better than these? Which ones would you have on your list? Say you had 6 movies. Or let's go with top 3. What are your top 3 movies that are coming out in the second half of 2021? Let me know your choices. Let me know which ones and why you're excited for those upcoming movies. Get involved in the comments. Get involved in the community as always. Thank you to all those who have watched this video. Thank you to all those who have been commenting on all the videos. Just get involved. Get involved with the community, ladies and gents. It's great to have you all involved with this. It's not me alone. This is us all together. Fans of movies. That's the way I see it at the end of the day. We're all fans of movies, and we're all in this really cool movie community. And there's many more out there. Many more great communities out there as well. Movie communities. And this is just one of many, but it's great to have you all involved in this one, and I'm really enjoying it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching today, ladies and gents. I hope you all have a lovely weekend, and as always, I will see you next time.